Many things in society only work because nobody questions them too hard. Not because they are true, because they are useful. And honestly, the older I get, the more I notice the strange little lies everywhere. Not massive conspiracies, not secret organization controlling the world. Just ordinary lies, but nobody talks about. For example, have you ever asked someone how they are doing and they immediately say, I am good, even when they are clearly not? Maybe they are stressed, exhausted, heartbroken, and they will still say, I am good. And you usually respond, glad to hear that. Then people move on, the conversation continues, the lie survives. And what's strange is that nobody feels deceived because the point was never accuracy, the point was social stability. Society is full of little arguments. We pretend more than we realize. People pretend to enjoy jobs they hate. People pretend they know what they are doing. People pretend they are confident, happy, and they are not at all lonely. And maybe the strangest part is that everyone knows everyone else is pretending, at least a little. Yet the performance continues. I think this whatever I see somebody introduces themselves, not their real self, their professional self, their social self, their acceptable self, the version that's easier to understand because real human psychology are messy, contradictory, confused, difficult to summarize. But society prefers categories, job titles, labels, identities, simple explanations, and after a while, people start identifying with the description instead of the reality. The roles become more real than the person. And honestly, I am probably guilty of this too. We all are, because life becomes easier than when things are simplified. The problem is that simplification slowly turns into fiction. Take success, one of the biggest stories society tells. Work hard, do everything right, and you will be rewarded. Now, obviously, hard works matter. I am not saying it doesn't, but you have lived long enough. You have probably noticed something uncomfortable. Some hardworking people still struggle with their lives. Some lazy people got lucky. Some talented people never got recognized. Some average people end up successful. Reality doesn't follow the script as neatly as we pretend. Yet the story survives, not because it's always true, but because society needs people to believe effort matters. Again, a useful story, not perfectly accurate one. And maybe that's what unsettles me, the realization that civilization isn't built entirely on facts. It's built on stories, stories about success, identity, progress, happiness, and stories about what matters. And these stories shape reality whether they're completely true or not. Money is a story, status is a story, reputation is a story. Every nation are partly stories, large groups of people agreeing to believe in the same idea. And before people misunderstands me, I'm not saying these things are fake. They are real because people collectively act as if they are real. What makes them powerful? But it doesn't makes me wonder how much of everyday life is held together by belief. How much of what we call reality depends on collective agreement. Because once you start noticing things, it's hard to stop. You notice how often people say things that they don't mean. How often people follow rules they don't believe in. How often people pursue goals they never chose for themselves. It's almost likely society hands everyone a script. Go here, do this, want that, measure yourself this way, and people will follow it. Not because they examined it, because everybody else is following it too. And maybe that's the biggest lie of all, the idea that most people know what they are doing. I genuinely don't think they do. I don't think most successful people have life figured out. I don't think politicians have it figured out, or celebrities, billionaires, influencers. I think most people are improvising, making decisions with limited information, trying to appear more certain than they actually are. And maybe that's not even a flaw in a society. The strange thing is, I don't find that depressing anymore. I actually find it comforting. Because if everyone is uncertain, the uncertainty isn't failure, it's normal. Maybe the foundation of society isn't truth. Maybe it's shared belief, shared stories, shared assumptions, some true, some false, most somewhere between. And every once in a while, someone looks a little too closely and notices the cracks, not because society is collapsing, but they suddenly realize something. The world isn't neatly as solid as it looked when they were younger. It held together by trust, by habits, by stories, by people agreeing to play their roles. And maybe that's why reality feels so strange sometimes because beneath all the certainty, beneath all the institution, beneath all the confidence, they are just human beings making it up as they go.